Hello and welcome. You're watching Medically Speaking special segment. And as you can see, we have very special guests today on the show. Neither doctors nor medicals, but women. And I'd like to introduce all of them. This is Mansi, this is Ria, Mitali, Pragati, Ayusha. All of them either pursuing journalism or journalists by profession already. Being women have to play many roles, especially when you have to balance your life between work and home. Deadlines, stress, everything can lead to lifestyle ailments like depression, low or high blood sugar. So, Pragati, starting from you, lack of time can lead to, you know, uh, reduced nutrition periods like overeating or skipping breakfast in the morning time. How do you manage your nutrition amid all this?
See, binge eating or eating disorder is basically related to our health, and to maintain that and to make sure that I get proper nutrition, I carry quick bites with me like dry fruits, makhanas, pumpkin seeds, and superfoods like you can keep protein bar, etc. with you. That really helps. You can just eat it on a go, and you can eat it while you are working also. So I think that is the way one can always fulfill their nutritions and their requirements and everything.
So, where do you keep these quick bites?
With myself in my purse or whatever I'm carrying with me, I just keep them in
And
that.
you munch it on.
Yeah, I
Right.
munch.
Mansi, being a journalist can cost you your me time. It can sometimes working hours can be more than expected. So, how do you govern your lifestyle and your mental well-being amid all this?
Okay, so Vaishali, the thing is कि as a journalist we do not get the personal me time. We have to manage it with our work. The thing is कि when we start as a journalist, the as being a student right now as a journalist, a student, I can tell you that it is very difficult to make a me time for me. But the thing is, as I am interning with India News right now, so I have talked some anchors there, and the people who are working there, they tell me that they have managed the things with like by having a good habit of taking food, healthy foods, and by meditating. And with the time, because in initial days they get more workload, right? But with the
Right.
time they get time, they start making the time for themselves. एंड धीरे धीरे करते क्या होता है कि जब आपके पास टाइम मैनेज होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है तो वो उसी बीच में अपने माइंड को एक सेट कर लेते हैं कि ठीक है अभी हमारे पास टाइम है तो इस वक्त हम लोग अपना मी टाइम ले लेते हैं, ठीक है, मी टाइम इन द सेंस कि हमारा स्किन केयर के लिए, राइट, हमारे बालों के लिए, बिकॉज जर्नलिज्म फील्ड में ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि आप
दिखते कैसे,
बहुत
right.
इंपॉर्टेंट होता है ये। तो और अगर हम खुद भी हेल्दी फील नहीं करेंगे तो अब ऑब्वियसली हमारे वर्क पे भी ये इम्पैक्ट करेगा, राइट?
Right.
तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। ये सारी चीज़ें मैंने उनसे धीरे धीरे बात करते हुए मैं सीख भी रही हूँ उनसे साथ में, और मैं कोशिश भी कर रही हूँ कि अपने लाइफस्टाइल को भी बेटर करूँ। विद दैट उन्होंने बताया है कि ऑब्वियसली वी ऑल नो मेडिटेशन इज़ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग एंड इट्स वेरी पावरफुल एज वेल, राइट? क्योंकि वो एनजाइटी में आपको हेल्प करता है, स्ट्रेस में। और जर्नलिस्ट की लाइफ ऐसी होती है जहाँ आपकी नेगेटिव न्यूज़ बहुत आती है, पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ से बहुत मतलब इम्पैक्ट कम होता है, राइट? नेगेटिव न्यूज़ की बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट होता है, तो उसमें आपका मेडिटेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। तो इस तरीके से आप कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को बेटर कर सकते हैं, फील करवा सकते हैं।
So that is how you
Yeah,
manage your
exactly.
me
This
time,
is-
right, girls? Okay. So girls tend to face more restrictions, Mitali, more than boys. घर जल्दी आओ, कहाँ जा रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, this and that. So obviously, due to obvious reasons, ये सब can lead to stress, frustration, depression. How do you deal with that? How do you cope up with that? उसका क्या तरीका है?
Like firstly restrictions, I know that every girl face restriction very much, like where are you going, you have to come earlier at home, don't stay late up at night with friends, or enjoy with your friends and work with friends. Like I have also faced some problems according to this. Like I am also a girl, so I also feel this problem. Like I think that boys do not face the same problem exact girls face because
Right.
due to their safety reasons,
Right.
family thinks that girls are not safe. So that's why and when it comes to depression or stressful, it leads to depression also because if we are facing some problems, we are not happy with ourselves, or we have to do work according to our families, or anyone is saying to us. So we feel like we have depressed, or we have nothing to have a right. Don't have a right to do anything. So that should be our depression also. But I can handle it as that I can tell my parents that it's a trustworthy company, or I am working as I am a student also. So I have to go college also. So I have to tell my parents that it's a trustworthy. Their teachers are good, and if I am working as an intern here, so I have to
In
tell
office,
them.
in
Yes.
office environment.
Yeah, so
how
I
you
have to
do
tell that so they can also have that. Yeah, you can go
So
there.
you build trust basically,
Yes.
establish trust between
Yes.
you and your parents.
Yes.
Ria, is all stress like sorry, how do you prevent stress from turning into depression?
Okay, so what I think is stress is being humans, we all face stress in our life,
Right.
right? And we can't ignore stress. It's a part of our life, okay? But जब वो वही stress हम depression में change होने लगता है तो हमें पता नहीं चलता because as human beings we keep ignoring our stress. We think कि okay, we have something to do and
Right.
obviously उसका pressure हम पे है तो that's why we are facing stress. But with time what happens is हम उस चीज़ को ignore कर देते हैं and वो depression में change हो जाता है.
Right.
What we should do is the first thing which I apply to myself is I don't overthink about anything, right? Because overthinking is the main reason of depression, or it could be like any emotional issue, a family issue, or anything. But as a journalist by profession, I'm a student right now. I am learning to manage everything, like my emotions, my work, and everything. So we just have to keep everything balanced in our life, and that's how I think we can.
So how do you try to keep your life balanced? How do you try to keep yourself happy? How do you prevent yourself from getting anxious, or even if you're not able to prevent yourself from getting anxious, so how do you keep yourself positive?
Okay, so we are in a profession where we have to be positive because we have to focus on our work.
Right.
है ना? For that we need positive thinking and everything. Because अगर हमारे अंदर वो नहीं होगा, so it will directly impact our work.
Yes.
Right? So ये बहुत important है. So what we do is because we have very limited time, we have to do everything
Right.
on time.
Right.
Because reporting field is all about this.
We
Media
are bound
field-
by deadlines.
Yeah,
Right.
right. So that's what I'm saying. So हम अपना time manage करके चलते हैं. Like हमारे पास अपने जैसे इन्होंने बताया मी टाइम, लाइक हम हर चीज़ मैनेज करके चलते हैं ताकि हम खुद के लिए भी टाइम निकाल पाएँ एंड एट द सेम टाइम वी ऑल्सो हैव टू इंश्योर दैट हम अपने काम को भी उतना ही टाइम दे रहे हैं. सो आई थिंक इससे स्ट्रेस लेवल भी कम होता है जब हम हर चीज़ में बैलेंस चलते हैं अपनी लाइफ को लेके. So that's it.
Okay, so Pragati, talking about stress, sometimes we are bombarded with n number of things, this and that. So we tend to get so stressed that we don't have time to manage it. So it obviously hampers our performance. So how do you know ways to quickly manage stress? Do you manage stress in like 10 minutes? Do you have some certain ways?
Yeah, see, the thing is ki, when we are bombarded with so many works, you have to prioritize your work, what is to be given early and what you can a bit delay in like submitting the work or whatever. So first you have to do that. Apart from that, the thing which I use personally is like playing some kind of mantras or something, and I just
Okay.
play it and I just
That's a
plug
good
it.
idea.
So that keeps me motivated and it gives me positivity also. But yeah, and apart from that, if you need, just take a quick break, like for 2 minutes, go for walk, just listen to one music, that's all, and talk to a loved one while between the work. Basically, I got lucky that my best friend works with me, so she's there to deal with the stress level.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
I'm just telling you.
नेचुरल है तो उसको अप्रिशिएट कर रही है तो कोई तो ऐसे हो गया ना थोड़ा सा
भाई
नो अप्रिसिएशन पोस्ट
हाँ प्लीज नो
Okay.
मैं एक सेकंड इन्होंने कॉल कर दिया बीच में यार
TDS
अरे यार आई वाज
we watched मीनाक्षी मैम ने कल एक वीडियो दिखाया था उसमें
भाई सपोर्टिंग भी
TDS भेजना इसको तो
भेजूंगी. शी वाज लाफिंग आउट लाउड. वो अगर थोड़ा सा और हंसती ना वो बंदी लोटपोट हो जाती. मीनाक्षी
मतलब उसके इंटरव्यूअर्स
हमारे साथ बैठ के बात कर रही थी.
मतलब बात कर रही थी शी केम टू ऑफिस यस्टरडे तो
वो मैं कुछ वीडियो दिखा रही थी अबाउट मेंटल रेप पे. एंड शी स्टार्टेड लाफिंग एंड हंसते हंसते मैं लिटरली लोग उसको ऐसे देख रहे थे. मुझे क्या हो गया इतना क्यों हंस रही है.
किस टाइम आई थी
कल तो पूरे दिन थी. हमारे साथ ही गई है मेट्रो स्टेशन तक.
Acha, this is how can one cover issues that may affect them as well as others deeply. For instance, reporting about war and mass deaths isn't easy, can be emotionally taxing. How do you cope up with that? Acha, okay. How can one cover issues? Okay.
पर पहले वाले का आंसर पूरा नहीं हुआ.
हाँ नहीं हुआ मैं क्वेश्चन पढ़ रही थी.
I'm not
No
doing any
appreciation.
appreciation post here. Basically, I was just telling the so these things, and yeah, apart from that, certain if we look at a spiritual perspective, then certain mudras can help you get rid of stress very
Like?
quickly. Like
मेंशन क्यों किया फिर
why are you asking me?
जर्नलिस्ट कैसे करेंगे
यार
अभी
no, then it should be पहले से बताया होना चाहिए था ना. मैं क्या करके बैठी यहाँ पे.
Have you seen Aruna Karra wala interview of mine? You were sitting over there. ना मैं क्या
Yes.
क्या question अजीब अजीब put on कर रही थी. हाँ.
I saw that, but don't ask me these questions right now.
Okay. Repeat this point.
Apart from these things, if we look at the spiritual perspective of things, we can control our stress level and anger also, for that matter, by certain mudras, certain chantings, and things like that. Apart from that, you can listen to audiobooks or something like that, which also helps. So, yeah, these things.
And when we are dealing with stress, we are just, demotivated to work for that matter. How do you deal with that?
Well, sometimes yes, the present reality is not that up to mark, but you can envision a future which gives you motivation and boost to work harder and to be focused, and that works for me. And I think if you will try, it work for you as well.
Nice point. Ayusha, as a journalist, tell us how can one cover issues that can affect them as well as others deeply. For instance, covering wars and mass deaths can be emotionally taxing, right? So how do you cope up with that?
Right. So Vishali, see, women's job, I believe, it always poses a risk to their mental health, and
Right.
even more so if you're a journalist.
Yes.
I probably until this pandemic never realized that journalists actually behave like psychotherapists. And I
Really?
realized it, yeah, and I realized it when I saw, in fact, you guys. You guys interview so many people who just go through such really hard stuff. And I just sit there and I wonder, oh my god, how is Vishali doing it? Because how listening to somebody talking about wars and deaths is so difficult.
Right.
And listening to that and consuming it is even more difficult. So it's something that you need to cope up with. Now,
Right.
it's very difficult because you live in that environment 24/7.
Right.
So it's just very important to process it after work, because if you do not process it, it's just going to eat you up. Right? So what I suggest is, if you can afford mental health, because mental health in India is really expensive. So if you can afford mental health, go seek a professional help, or just talk to your peers, or just basic things we do in life.
So have you sought a professional help ever? Did it help you? Like if you have ever?
Right. Well, Vishali, I come from a middle class family, and like I just said, mental health in India is really costly. I've seen. I've browsed through the internet and I found out that some of the best mental health therapists, they cost around 1,700 to
Right.
2,000 per hour. Now that's a really huge amount.
Right.
So
as of now, I have not been able to, what you say, seek a professional help. I have done just a self-diagnosis. So I know for myself, for my own satisfaction, I know that I do suffer from anxiety.
Okay. So, Ria, being a woman, do you ever feel like women are, offered with less opportunities than men?
Okay, so personally, yeah, I faced this situation many times, and like it's not like कि हमेशा ऐसा होता है, because बहुत बार क्या होता है कि जिसके पास skills ज़्यादा है, जिसके पास talent ज़्यादा है, उन लोगों को ज़्यादा आगे appreciate किया जाता है. But बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जिसमें मेंस को ज़्यादा फेवर किया जाता है उन
Right.
चीज़ों में, उनको ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी के साथ प्रोवाइड किया जाता है, which is absolutely wrong. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए, right? Everyone should be provided with equal opportunities, whether
Right.
he is a man or a woman.
Right. So, Mansi, do you agree with this? Have you ever faced this bias?
Yes, I have faced it many times actually. And
So, did it affect you mentally?
yeah, of course, it will affect actually not only me, yaar. Anybody who is going through it, everybody
Right.
is going to tell it to you that they are actually facing such kind of, because just because of that, they cannot put their 100% in their work. तो जो उनका जितना efforts होता है ना, जितना वो डाल के अच्छा काम दिखा सकते हैं, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं impact कर जाता है.
Absolutely. I think patriarchy and all the gender biases are actually, and I know women here will agree with me, are actually the root cause of 90% of women's mental health problems.
In every profession, I guess.
Absolutely.
It takes a toll
Regardless
on
of how developing. So, okay, Mitali, okay, pursuing journalism, is it exhausting? Like you have to run after your work, as I just mentioned, there are no defined work hours. So sometimes you may be provided with extra work more than your work hours, and at the same time you have to complete your college assignment sometimes. How do you deal with that?
Like personally, I deal like at night when I go to home. I go to home like approx 9 o'clock. So I start to take some rest, and then I started my college assignment because at 8 o'clock I have to leave my home for the college also. And then I do my assignment till 1 o'clock, 12 exact that how much I got the things to do. Then I sleep for 6 hours that it is needed for myself, for my mental health too.
Right.
So I sleep for 6 hours, and then I woke up earlier and then go to college. And then I also come for internships that we have to do for our profession also in starting to gain some knowledge. So I come here and work everything like video editing and many things. So I have to do many things, but for that I have to take my mean time too. So I sometimes I take my mother gives me food with me, so I can take in metro or any other place. So
Just like the school kids,
Yeah.
right? Ayush, talking about the sleep schedules, it can become really, really messy sometimes. So, what are your ways to better sleep schedules?
See, I personally suffer from insomnia. I'm unable to sleep, but of course, I cannot run on several hours of deprivation of sleep. So, on some days when I'm really tired, what I do is I just light a soy candle, candles which are available in jars, and incense candles. So yeah, they really the fragrance is so pleasant that you instantly just somehow you just fall asleep, and it's really helpful. So it's one thing I'll suggest people to fix their sleep schedule.
Do you have any suggestions, Pragati?
Yeah, apart from that, keeping your phones and your laptops away from you 1 hour or 1.5 hour before sleeping really works. Meditating is also one of the things which works. And apart from that, doing a quick like a stretching thing also works. It just increase your metabolism and which makes you feel like bit sleepy and tired.
Right.
So you can fall asleep quickly.
Oh, and may I add, sleep next to plants. I think I and Pragati are big advocates of plants, and
Yes.
we are just plant animals. We just love plants. I think plants is something that can really help you with your mental health.
But
Talking to
keeping
plants.
keeping plants in like bedrooms is not possible. What plants do you suggest can we keep?
Right.
next to
Well,
our beds.
right. Well, Vaishali, there are some plants which are suggested by even NASA. So
Mhm.
there are succulents, there are
Mhm.
spider plants,
Mhm.
and what are the
There
other
is some
plants?
There are
snake
palm tree.
plant that is
Yeah,
called
palm.
snake
Palm,
plant.
and there is another plant which looks similar to money plant, which is Sigonium, which is
Okay.
very good. It purifies the environment.
Mhm.
You can use a lot of plants to purify your air
Right.
quality and things like that. Money plant is also one thing which you can keep inside your room. And yeah, there's like a snake plants and things like that. You can keep it.
I guess this conversation is more turning more into spiritual stuff now. So coming back to the
Yeah,
medical
let's just stick
aspect.
to the mental health aspect.
Right.
No, that actually the snake plant, purifies the air and
Also, right.
yeah. So there are so many of benefit of particular that plant.
Okay.
So I will definitely say everyone should keep that plant in their home.
Okay. So also, Mansi, when you're talking about menstruation, cramps are a nightmare for us girls.
Exactly.
Schools में हम छुट्टी ले सकते थे. College, that's a different story altogether. लेकिन office में we cannot give that reason कि हमें छुट्टी लेनी है. So how do you handle that in your?
Exactly, you
How
said
do you
it
come
right.
to work? कैसे? कैसे?
यू सेड इट राइट यार दैट हम स्कूल वगैरह में छुट्टी ले सकते थे,
हम्म।
कॉलेजेस में भी कभी कभार बंक करके भाग जाते थे इस
हम्म।
तरीके से, बट
Right.
ऑफिस ऐसी प्लेस है जहाँ आपका वर्क इंपॉर्टेंट होता है और आप निगलेक्ट भी नहीं कर सकते हो, क्योंकि एज अ प्रोफेशनल जर्नलिस्ट का प्रोफेशन भी ऐसा होता है जहाँ वर्क तो इम्पोर्टेंट होता है, राइट?
हम्म।
तो यहाँ पे सिंपल थिंग है, वही है, हम 13 ईयर लाइक वी वॉज अबाउट 13, राइट?
Right.
हम तब से यही सब फेस करते आ रहे हैं और हमको ये सिखाया भी गया है स्कूल वगैरह में कि हम कैसे बेटर फील कर सकते हैं, लाइक ऑफ कोर्स योगा मेडिटेशन ये सब तो आप कर ही सकते हो, बट विद दैट व्हाट आई पर्सनली डू इज लाइक बीच में कभी क्रैम्प वगैरह होते हैं तो आई टेक अ ब्रेक फॉर 5 to 10 minutes, टेक अ लॉन्ग ब्रीथ, क्योंकि आप फिर रिलैक्स हो जाते हैं, थोड़ा सा वर्क जो प्रेशर होता है ना थोड़ा सा शांत हो जाता है, उसके बाद आप जाके थोड़ा सा अपने लिए या तो हॉट वाटर अगर मैनेज कर पाओ तो बेटर है आपके लिए, चाय ले सकते हो, बिकॉज ऐसी
many
चीजें
many
हेल्प कर सकते हैं.
girls like अगर आपने सुना हो तो it's a trend in not even a trend, एक चने की तरह दवाई खाने वाली बात जो होती है, there's a दवाई called menstrual spas if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
तो that we munch on like it's some kind of chana. So do you guys prefer that also?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I don't.
No.
And I'm an advocate for painkillers because I've, through
Yeah,
the
because
years-
girls have different perspectives on painkillers. खानी चाहिए
आई
नहीं खानी
बिलीव यार
चाहिए.
उससे बेटर है आप चॉकलेट वगैरह करोगे ना, लोगे तो वो ज़्यादा बेटर है आपके लिए, क्योंकि वो एक हेल्दी हैबिट भी उसमें लेते हैं, क्योंकि आप
But
जितना
that would
दवा
help
का
in-
इंटेक
that might not help in relieving the pain.
Yeah.
Chocolate and pain.
But there
But
are
आप
certain
मूड
herbs like
स्विंग्स वगैरह जो होते हैं ना वो
हम्म,
बेटर उसमें
वो
आप
better
फील
है,
करते हो,
समझ
लेकिन आप जितने मेडिसिन वगैरह लेते हो ना दैट इज एक्चुअली
Addictive
गोइंग
हो
टू
जाते हैं,
कॉज
medicine
side
के
effects
लिए।
होते हैं।
बेसिकली मेरा कहना यही है कि जितना आप ऑर्गेनिक वे में अपने आप को काम कर सको, रिलीव चॉकलेट के थ्रू, क्योंकि मूड स्विंग्स भी होते हैं, ये सबको पता है, हम में से सब एग्री करेंगे, उस टाइम मूड स्विंग्स का डिफरेंट ही लेवल होता है, एंजाइटी प्रेशर बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है क्योंकि पेन इतना होता है, राइट? तो उस सबको आप एक क्या नेचुरल वे में अगर काम कर सकते हो तो आई थिंक दैट्स मोर बेटर, राइट?
But I mean, there's no harm in taking painkillers. What I think what Mansi is talking about is actually birth control pills. Birth control pills are actually what leads to, infertility in women and even depression. However, painkillers are very normal. You guys, if you see, even when we have headache, we take painkillers, we take aspirin. We don't say, "Hey, Ari, we'll treat it naturally," right? So, and even if this is, I'm actually science is backing my statement here.
Right.
I've read surveys, and which is why I advocate for taking painkillers when you are menstruating. But obviously, it depends from women to
Person
women.
to
I cannot
person,
really
right,
just
right.
force somebody.
Because someone thinks that it can be take addiction of medicines.
Right,
That every
okay.
time I have to take medicine for that.
सो यू हैव टॉकिंग अबाउट द पेन किलर्स, राइट? डॉक्टर्स ने भी बोला है कि अगर आप एक लिमिट होती है, राइट, हर चीज़ के लेने के लिए भी, लेकिन
Yes, yeah.
हाँ, लेकिन जब पेन वगैरह होता है ना तो लोग इतना इनटेक करते हैं कि वो आपके बॉडी को कॉज करता है. सो दिस इज व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई वांट टू से कि आप हर चीज़ की जो लिमिट होती है ना उसको क्रॉस करेंगे तो फिर
Well, yeah,
ऑब्वियसली
limits.
तो लिमिट के अंदर अगर आप करते हो तो ऑब्वियसली
Yeah, I think within, if you're taking painkillers within limits, that's fine. But of course,
But
you shouldn't just, you know.
हर चीज का एक साइड इफेक्ट होता है तो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड कि
That's-
चॉकलेट वगैरह या कॉफी
It's not
कॉफी
like you
नहीं
can't
ऑब्वियसली टी वगैरह अगर आप लेते हो ना तो आप थोड़ा सा लेते हो ऑब्वियसली अगर क्रैम्प्स वगैरह हो भी रहे तो आप एक दिन में 2 लेते थे 4 ले लोगे राइट 5 ले लोगे तो दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट यू फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम राइट तो लेकिन मेडिसिन वगैरह का क्या होता है कि डॉक्टर्स बोलते हैं हार्ट अटैक के केसेस ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं आपका जो ब्लड होता है वो बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब क्या कहते हैं कि थिक थिन हो जाता है ठीक है ब्लड वगैरह तो इस तरीके के मतलब डॉक्टर्स का खुद का कहना है तो इसलिए कम से कम हमको मेडिसिन पेन किलर्स लेने चाहिए
Actually, there are so many herbs also which you can use instead of painkillers like rosemary,
या
lavender, which just numb your pain, numb your nervous system as well. So it also helps you in managing your mood swings.
आई
Okay.
And I think, yeah,
So how do
adding
we
that,
actually use them?
it's very simple. You get it on Amazon or you will get it Amazon or anywhere. Basically, just put a half teaspoon in warm water and just drink it like a tea. It will just it start working within 15 minutes and you will see results. It will soothe your mood swings. It will calm your nervous system. It will keep you focused and yeah, as well pain also.
ओके तो मैं इसी में ऐड करना चाहूँगी बट आई डू पर्सनली मैं वो वार्म वाटर वगैरह में नहीं करती आई जस्ट टेक दैट वाटर बिकॉज वो इट्स लाइक अ परफ्यूम राइट तो जब आप उसको स्मेल करते हो ना इट मेक्स अ फील बेटर तो वो आपके स्मेल से भी ना मेरे लिए तो हो जाता है अब
हाँ, so that's a different.
Yeah,
But
right.
she is talking about the essential oil, the
Oh,
form of oil.
Yeah,
I am
okay,
talking
okay.
about the raw herb,
अच्छा,
which you can add and drink like tea.
Okay, so essential oils, herbs, medicines, and different
Chocolates,
perspectives.
coffee.
Same thing, different perspectives. That's what we got from these lovely women. Thank you, ladies, for joining us on the show. Thank you for watching, guys, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Medically Speaking, for more such interesting videos. And a happy Women's Day to all of you. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.